Hi guys, my name is Catherine and today I'm going to be talking to you about 5 things you should think about while you're singing. The first thing that you should think about is having your soft palate up. When you have your soft palate up, it allows for so much more space in your mouth, making it so much easier to sing and also making um your singing more warm and your tone is a lot more rich, which is really important. So a soft palate kind of looks like this. Usually, well, in my situation, I don't really have cheekbones, but for those who have cheekbones, most likely you'd see the raise in cheekbones, which is super important. So that's important about keeping your soft palate and cheeks up. The second thing to think about is focused breath. Now, focused breath is really important because when you're hitting those high notes or you're hitting those low notes, if you focus your breath and think of it moving forward, you're most likely going to be able to hit those notes. Originally, when people see a high note, they usually get afraid, which is why it doesn't come out the way it should. But by focusing on and thinking of focused breath constantly, it will help you hit those high notes and just overcome them perfectly. The third thing I recommend is to remember where your voice comes from. So, I myself have been guilty of belting when you're not supposed to, and that causes strain in your voice. Now, when you are a bit lower, you can get away with belting a bit more, but when you have reached this range where it starts to hurt, you know that you're doing something wrong. One thing that I do is if I feel like my throat is hurting, I hear myself sing and I touch my throat, and if I find like it's moving like a lot while I'm singing, then I know that I'm using my throat and that I'm not really using my diaphragm. And one thing I try to do to make sure that I am using my diaphragm is that I put my hand on my stomach and I just while I'm singing, I just make sure that it's actively moving so I know that I'm using it. The third thing to think about is diction. Now, diction is super important, especially in choir and um, songs with lyrics, because at the end of the day, the audience is not going to understand every single word that comes out of our mouth, but we can try our best to do that. And that's why Miss Gerst has created the IH system, which is probably one of the most important things I've learned this year is don't let your like when you are dragging on those long notes, make sure that you finish them off strong. For example, in one of the songs that we did in class called Gamaya, we had a part in the song that went asa tamasa ad. Obviously, that's not how I would sing it, but if we were to perform that, if we didn't have diction, it would sound like this: asa tamasa. But with diction, you are adding that d sound, which makes it very noticeable and makes the audience know for sure what we're saying. Another thing that's super important is your eyebrows, and by lifting them up and by lifting your eyebrows up and cheeks up, you're also, again, like I said, you're lifting up those cheekbones, which enable you to have a more warm tone, and it just helps you so much, and it shows that you're engaged and your voice is powerful without being too powerful. Overall, I think these are really important factors that you should keep in mind while you're singing.